Hey everyone, I'm expecting a lot of Dapps after this, so be sure to come up here and give me some Dapps. Yeah, let's talk about Ddap. You guys have heard a lot about Ddap from Ilya, from other guys here, and I just want to take you through with where we're at, what's going on, and tell you a little bit more about our product and our platform. Let's see. Well, cool. What is Ddap? This is the way we're positioning ourselves. It's your universal gateway into Ethereum Layer 2s. And I would say, what does this really mean, right? Ultimately, we're trying to redesign and redefine like current user journeys and how you access and navigate applications across the current DeFi landscape, right? Our core pillars really are simplicity, convenience, accessibility. How can we change the way users access DeFi? How can we make sure that what we're doing is consolidating apps and applications and your typical DeFi actions into a singular interface, right? So what does Ddap ultimately offer? One sec. Right, we allow you to go into a singular platform, sign in with one wallet, and be able to access over 150 different applications, right? We have 15 different EVM networks live. You're able, as a user, to go and choose whatever network you want to access, lend, borrow, stake, bridge, swap natively within one application. One thing to drive home here is there is a difference between a front end and a smart contract. So ultimately, the vision that we see is, years down the line, there's going to be thousands of applications, but ultimately there are going to be certain applications that are calling from the most prominent protocols, prominent smart contracts, ones that are secure, auditable, and validated by the market, right? So what we're trying to do is position ourselves to where we're driving this narrative. It's about differentiating and educating people that smart contracts are different from their front ends. And so what we're doing here is showcasing this and this ability to compose and develop front ends whereby you can go into our app, access any application, and perform the DeFi needs that you traditionally want to do on a daily basis. And so going back, if I can. Really, the problems here that we're looking to address is fragmentation. Fragmentation, accessibility, discoverability, and a lack of time that general users have to do within the space. Averagely, users only have 10 minutes a day. How are they going to go and explore, the hundreds of layer 2s that are coming out, thousands of different farms, thousands of different applications? It's increasingly complex and difficult, right? So ultimately, it's how can we solve this problem whereby current solutions are not addressing this need? Current solutions don't allow new users to come in and navigate DeFi seamlessly. Right? How are we going to onboard the next billion people when our current solutions are just increasingly difficult to use? They're complex, they're not built for an average user, they're not built for anyone with a lack of crypto or DeFi or technical background to come in and be like, okay, I get how to deposit liquidity on this lending protocol, or I get how bridging works. Right? So ultimately, we're building this solution. We're building this unified platform to where you can come in and understand how to navigate DeFi. Let's talk a little bit about traction, right? So we launched 39 days ago, about a month, and we've got about 76,000 users. Big round of applause for the team here. Absolutely insane. We've had about a 90% on-chain conversion rate, and almost 400,000 quests have been completed, right? Recently, we have had also a single user deposit $830,000 in assets to be lended on LayerBank. And this is just a taste, right? As of right now, it's about getting users to understand that you can go to a place like Ddap and be able to perform your DeFi needs. And then you can then consolidate your actions, lend, borrow, swap, bridge in one place. So what we're doing right now is going through each ecosystem, such as Linea, and developing these Odyssey campaigns. Within Ddap, there are on-chain actions and quest features such as Odyssey, but quests as well. So within this, and I'll play this video shortly, as a user, we're trying to drive incentives behind the actions that they do on-chain. How can we make this experience more fun, more easy to understand, more simple, and ultimately drive them to be able to earn points and earn rewards for doing these actions on-chain? So as an example, if we can hit play, then you guys will be able to see what this Odyssey page looks like. Dun, dun, dun. Now, cool. Let's take a step back, and what I want to drive again is, why is this important? The reason why is this important? See, ultimately, we're able to customize experiences, we're able to customize user journeys. How are we to get users to understand a specific ecosystem and the apps underneath each ecosystem without having gamified features like this? So with each ecosystem, what we're ultimately doing is creating a journey that is unique to the dApps that are available, the applications that are there, and ultimately creating an experience that is going to be enjoyable for you to go and explore. This is important because as users come into tens of L2s, hundreds of layer 2s, and there's more and more applications, we're trying to streamline this process and drive on-chain actions that are then incentivized with games such as the one you just saw. So we've done Odyssey Volume 1, which is sort of a jackpot feature on Linea. Now this is Odyssey Volume 2, which is a flip and match game, and soon we'll have Odyssey Volume 3 on Scroll, and so on and so forth. Now, driving back to BOS and Near and how we're powered by BOS, Ddap is very unique in its position whereby we deploy and we aggregate decentralized front-end components. So again, driving home this narrative that smart contracts and their front ends are two separate things. What we're ultimately doing is we're aggregating front ends to be consolidated in one unified ecosystem, or sorry, one unified interface. Ultimately, the difference here is it's hosted on Near's nodes and not AWS, and it has the ability to then be multi-chain, open source, auditable, and composable. One thing to drive home here again is you as a user, you may use Gmail, you may use Hotmail, you may use whatever email client you use, but ultimately the protocol that's underneath it, which is SMTP, POP, or IMAP as the mail transfer protocol, is something you don't see. So again, it's like, how can we abstract away from the technology that's underneath it, the blockchain that's ultimately powering the platform, and be able to use a platform that then abstracts away from this aspect and allows you to then just use the product for whatever need you're trying to fulfill. So with us, it's like use DeFi without realizing you're using BOS, right? Or use DeFi without realizing all of these components are hosted on Near's nodes. What's next? Well, there's a lot. As of right now, we've got 75,000 users. We have 15 chains live. We have 150 different applications. We have had tremendous success with onboarding Linea's users and doing this Linea campaign. And so for us, it's about creating user journeys, creating experiences that are different with every ecosystem we activate. How can we simplify and onboard and create unique things that will incentivize users to come and check out each ecosystem and use Ddap to then explore those ecosystems? So for us, we're going to launch a Scroll Odyssey Volume 3 campaign in the next week or two, and then it's going to be Blast, Zk Sync, and so on and so forth. The reason for why we're prioritizing these specific layer 2s are because they haven't yet airdropped their tokens, and then the point mechanisms or systems within each of them are live as of right now. And so for us, it's like, how can we reward users the most? Well, we're giving them the layer 2s to participate on that haven't yet launched their native rewards. And so use Ddap, farm points natively, and farm the native layer 2s that we're working with, as well as being able to explore different applications and ecosystems as you will. But ultimately, what is the end goal, right? For us, it's becoming this attention layer. It's about capturing the friction that's between layer 2s and eventually capturing 5 to 10% of the retail user flow between Ethereum layer 2s in the end, right? So there's fragmentation, there's friction. Ddap can unify users and unify liquidity under one platform and have this ability to then actually eliminate fragmentation, right? It's having all of these applications, all of these DeFi services and applications be consolidated into a singular interface. And ultimately that then serves to eliminate friction, barriers to entry, fragmentation, and it makes it easier for a native DeFi user and a person that's completely a novice. And so As of right now, we're looking to hit 100K by mid of April in terms of monthly active users, and then 200 to 300K sometime in Q2, and then eventually, onboard the next billion in the years ahead. And so that's Ddap. Thank you everyone for listening today, and I would urge you to please follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, reach out to us on Telegram. If you're a builder here, if you see value in Ddap, reach out to us. Please communicate to us. All of us are here, and we're looking to build for the future and onboard the next billion. So thank you very much.